Everyone. Can you hear me? Good evening. My name is Trey Havens, and I am the team lead for this year's social entrepreneurship project dealing with Common Scent. Before we get started and I get to introduce the team, I just want to take a couple of seconds to tell you and brag on all of these people who are sitting right here. I have been an intern before with I-CCEW, but I can honestly say these are some of the most incredible people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Everyone has worked hard, eaten a lot of pizza, even some insomnia cookies. So I'm really proud to be working with everyone here. As an acting performance major, I can tell you that I've been personally looking forward to this moment for my entire life. So without any further ado, I have some people that I'd like to thank. Thank you. This is honestly such a surprise. I'd just like to thank the Academy, I-CCEW staff. I'd like to thank Chris Schilling. Thank you for dealing with all of my aggressive emails. I'd like to thank Kristen Messerly, our mentor. Thank you for being the best Skype buddy in the whole world. I'd like to thank Michael Rath, my fellow. It's almost like you are Master Yoda and I am your Darth Vader, if you will. Somehow we managed to always get along. I'd like to thank my parents. They unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, not because they're busy. I just forget to send them an invitation. We've all been very busy. But no, honestly, I'm up here to say thank you to my amazing team that I get the opportunity to introduce you to. They have worked hard, they have grown in their professional skills, and they have, with this being the Social Entrepreneurship Project, done incredible work to change the world. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Team Common Scent.
In early August, I-CCEW alumnus and inventor Chris Schilling approached us with an idea for a new donation technology called Common Scent. Originally developed to provide funding for educators in Oklahoma, Common Scent offers a unique proportional giving platform that engages younger donors. Common Scent CEO and inventor Chris Schilling tasked us with finding if this technology could make an impact in the world of nonprofit fundraising. After over 40 interviews, a survey of over 370 donors, and a survey of over 30 nonprofits, Team Common Scent has fulfilled and exceeded this task set for us by our inventor, and we will provide 3 actionable technology solutions as well as support solutions that, if implemented, can help Common Scent generate nearly $14 million for 50 nonprofits in year 5 alone. As prominent world leader Winston Churchill once said, "You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give." Common Scent can allow everyone to feel as though they too can truly make a difference in this world. Because with this technology, you can truly make a difference. My name is Hannah Gerlot, and I am an International Development and Dramaturgy Junior from Norman, Oklahoma.
My name is Tammy Alabi, a Mechanical Engineering Junior from Lagos, Nigeria.
My name is Haley Rader. I'm a Biology Junior from Enid, Oklahoma.
And my name is Maddie Whitman, a Business Management Junior from Edmond, Oklahoma.
And we would like to thank our inventors, Kelly Tran and Chris Schilling, our mentor, Kristen Messerly, our I-CCEW fellow, Michael Rath, and our team lead, Trey Havens III. Thank you, Tammy. Common Scent in its current form is an implementable website button that is easily implemented into a nonprofit's website or mobile application. Common Scent utilizes a unique proportional giving feature that allows donors to donate relative to their monthly expenses. This is an attractive donation option for many younger donors, such as millennials and Gen Xers. And through our research and surveys, this is the demographic that nonprofits generally have a hard time capturing. This makes Common Scent an efficient platform for nonprofits to connect with these younger donors. However, Common Scent will find problems when attempting to go onto the donation technology market. The donation technology market is incredibly saturated, and currently many nonprofits have a vast array of technology to choose from. This means that it is imperative for Common Scent to differentiate within this market. After over 30 interviews with directors of development from nonprofits, we've determined that nonprofits need more than this integratable website button. After a survey of over 370 people, that will be potential donors, we determined that nonprofits that donors need options for nonprofits that they wish to donate to every month. This team will provide 6 actionable recommendations for CommonSent to differentiate themselves on the market, as well as fulfill and provide the wants and needs of the nonprofits and the donors. We suggest that CommonSent continue development on the website button. However, we suggest that CommonSent also utilize a campaign feature. Through our surveys with many different nonprofits, it was a common theme that this campaign feature would be an attractive technology option when thinking about a partnership with CommonSent. We also suggest that CommonSent develop and implement a standalone application that would serve as a centralized hub for small and medium nonprofits. This would give donors the option to choose which nonprofit they would like to donate to. We also provide 3 support recommendations for CommonSent. We recommend that CommonSent provides marketing material to nonprofits when marketing towards their donor bases. We also suggest that CommonSent operate under a transparent business model, increasing their fundraising efficiency. And last, we suggest that CommonSent implement a tiered structured model, meaning that this technology would be accessible to all types of nonprofits, small, medium, or large. Now that we've overviewed all the problems that CommonSent might face and some of the solutions that we have recommended to CommonSent that they might implement, I'll pass it over to Tammy to talk to you a little bit about what makes CommonSent special and also how CommonSent intends to operate as a business.
Thank you, Hannah. CommonSent is special as it takes 1% of donors' monthly expenses and counts this as their donation to a predetermined nonprofit. This is important because it ensures that donations constitute a light burden on users' wallet. CommonSent's automatic donation feature is also quite important as it instills a means of passive giving in donors. This means that donors do not have to remember to make their donations on a month-to-month basis. This helps increase donor retention for these nonprofits as donors continue to give whether or not they remember that they are giving. These 2 features will be common throughout the 3 facets that CommonSense technology can be used as, which are the website button, this 1% campaign, and the standalone application, as Hannah previously mentioned. The website button is a more permanent feature of CommonSense, where the technology is integrated into the home page of a nonprofit's website. Integration can be done by CommonSense partnering with the donation mechanisms that these nonprofits are already using. At the moment, the technology is able to function as a website button. However, with validation from our interviews and the surveys that we have performed, our team is recommending that CommonSense seek to develop the 1% campaign and standalone application. With the 1% campaign, nonprofits will be able to use CommonSense technology for a set time. During this time, they will be able to share the technology with their donors and gather donations. This time could also constitute a trial period for these nonprofits of CommonSense technology. Here, they can see a proof of impact of the technology specific to their nonprofit. With the standalone application, CommonSense will be a centralized hub that features a variety of nonprofits. Users will then be able to go on this mobile application and select from the variety the ones they would like to donate to. Again, through interviews, our team has determined that it will be essential for CommonSense to offer some form of marketing support with all these 3 applications. This marketing support exists to make it easy for directors of development to implement and market this technology to their donors. And it can range from things as simple as pre-written content for newsletters and emails to more complex things like graphics and videos. When relating with nonprofits, CommonSense will function using a software as a service business model. Here, 100% of the donation comes in through CommonSense platform, regardless of whether it's being used as a time campaign, website button, or standalone application. 95% of this then goes to the predetermined nonprofit. This 95% fundraising efficiency is quite important as it ensures that more of the donation goes to the nonprofit. This is higher than the industry average of about 85% fundraising efficiency. 2.8% of each donation then goes to Appable, which is CommonSense parent company, with 2.2% plus 30 cents per transaction going to services like PayPal that enable CommonSense make withdrawals from donors' bank accounts. This software as a service model, to be specific, is a percentage fee model. Here, nonprofits pay a percentage of the donations they gather as a subscription for using CommonSense service. Through our interviews, our team determined that nonprofits are willing to let go of about 5% of the donations that they make, hence the 95% that they get to keep. This model is also the preferred model of nonprofits over a flat fee model, as it constitutes less of a risk to the nonprofits. According to Callum McMorran, the Director of Development at the Women's Resource Center, we're only spending money if we're making money. The average donation will be about $25, and we can see that $23.75 goes to the nonprofit, with about 40 cents per $25 going to Appleable. With this model, CommonSense could potentially generate about $14 million for 50 nonprofits only in its 50 years of existence. Now that we've heard a little bit about what makes CommonSense special and the business model with which it plans to function, I'd like to turn it over to Haley to talk to us a little bit more about the market for this technology and some of the competition that CommonSense might be facing.
Thank you, Tammy. CommonSense should seek to partner with nonprofits in health, education, and human services. This will provide CommonSense with 622,000 potential nonprofit partners. These nonprofits received $140 billion in donations in 2016 alone. This grew 13.3% from the previous year, indicating that this is a sustainable market for CommonSense growth. We have determined that the primary users for CommonSense will be donors born between 1960 and 2000. These are millennials and Gen X generations. In our survey of over 370 donors, we saw that these generations are 4 times more likely to donate to these causes over others. Nonprofits in America spend $8.1 billion on technology for fundraising. The 3 causes that we are recommending CommonSense pursue, health, education, and human services, spent $2.6 billion on technology to enhance their giving process. Gail Carpenter, the Director of Development of TechSoup, said that in order for CommonSense to be effective, it must be adaptable. CommonSense's unique 1% donation technology can be adapted into 3 unique giving solutions. The donation button, campaigns, and the app allow CommonSense technology to partner with nonprofits of all sizes. This will fully allow CommonSense to access its $53.3 million target market. The market for technology for fundraising is large, and CommonSense is hardly the first to try to capitalize on it. However, CommonSense exceeds its competitors due to its ease of implementation, its marketing, tiered services, and proportional giving. The 4 metrics that we have used to compare CommonSense against its competitors were drawn from our interviews with over 40 directors of development at nonprofits, who stated that a technology that meets all 4 of these requirements will be more effective and more successful in reaching these younger donors than a technology that does not implement all 4 of these criteria. CommonSense is the only one of its competitors to utilize proportionate giving, which our research has shown is desirable by these younger generations. CommonSense has a $2.6 billion market and the ability to distinguish itself among its competitors, which leads CommonSense for a great opportunity to change the world. Now that I've told you a little bit about the market and the opportunities within this market and the competition, I'd like to pass it over to Maddie to talk about our marketing strategies for CommonSense and the financial implications.
Thank you, Haley. CommonSense prioritizes its marketing strategies upon its 2 main customer relationships. CommonSense can market itself to potential nonprofit partners through use of networking, which is highlighted in 2 key ways. First, CommonSense can attend 2 of the 75 unique conferences every year designated for social innovation and nonprofit technology. Through this, at a cost of around $8,000, including travel as well as exhibitor fees, CommonSense can thereby generate around 6 to 8 new nonprofits every single year for CommonSense to partner with. But then, in conjunction, they should also utilize a mass communication strategy behind the scenes in order to generate maximum exposure and to gauge interest in the social community for CommonSense's powerful potential. They could do this through newsletters as well as reaching out to nonprofit associations in order to see who is interested in CommonSense. They can do this for a low cost of around $240 per year through services like MailChimp, which then would allow them to generate nearly 5 new nonprofit partnerships every single year. But what makes CommonSense special is not that it stops its marketing at the client acquisition phase. Rather, CommonSense, our team is suggesting that they offer a marketing package to its new nonprofit relationships in order to best assist the transition between traditional donor platforms and Common Scent. It can do this in a variety of ways. However, our interviews with both Corey McMahon and Matt Woods from McMahon Marketing have indicated that these should primarily include pre-written content. Now, this can come in two main ways that our team is divided up. First is that Common Scent can utilize social media marketing, including posts and tweets and photos and videos that are 38 times more likely to engage an audience than traditional posts. Then, Common Scent should also utilize a personalized touch to the giving process through things like customer communication. So newsletters and templates for thank you notes to add a personalized touch to the giving process. Through this, they can hire an independent contractor for around $2,500 a year in order to simply write the content and lift the burden off of nonprofits in order to best allow their time to be spent focusing on the cause. This can thereby generate around 8% more leads just by social media marketing for Common Scent and an additional $287,000 in additional revenue for Common Scent because of the $41 extra that is expected per donor per year because of a personalized touch to the giving process. But now that we've talked a little bit more about the marketing strategies that Common Scent will deploy, let's look at its financial impact. In its first year alone, Common Scent will generate upwards of $1 million for its nonprofit partners. However, with an assumption of 25% growth rate that we have derived through our interviews with competitors as well as our own market research, we have found that Common Scent can then end up generating nearly $14 million in year 5 alone for its 50 nonprofits it plans to partner with by that year. For smaller nonprofits who barely even make it upon the $500,000 mark in revenue every year, Common Scent is revolutionary. But it still maintains a profit for its parent company back home. In fact, in its first year, Common Scent can generate $4,000 for its parent company just in starting up the business. However, with that same 25% growth rate and the overall 5% takeaway that comes from the total revenue Common Scent has, subtracting out the business fees associated with that Tammy talked about earlier in the business model, Common Scent can end up making $157,000 for its parent company in just year 5 alone. But moving forward, Common Scent should pursue a simple yet substantive development strategy, one that in the first few years of existence focuses on integration and campaigns, which are primarily dedicated to larger nonprofits. Then, in its second and third years of existence, Common Scent should expand to smaller nonprofits that our interviews with over 40 development directors and industry experts indicate is the most willing and able bracket to invest in new technology. And lastly, Common Scent should look forward to developing the new application hub that showcases multiple nonprofits to a variety of donors in order to generate maximum exposure in the nonprofit world. Our interviews with over 40 nonprofit directors, our industry expert talks, as well as our own investment in 400 different survey respondents from donors and nonprofits, Common Scent will change the giving market, whether it be through its $2.6 billion market it enters into, its accessibility on a range of scale for smaller nonprofits and large nonprofits, or its $14 million impact in year 5 alone for its nonprofit causes. Common Scent will change the world. Our team has been privileged and honored to work on such an amazing project, and we know that it has an incredibly bright future for both nonprofits, the technology sector, and most importantly, a world of social change. Thank you, and we now open the floor to questions. Yes.
Where you can start with large nonprofits and then move towards smaller nonprofits. And I'm curious what your thinking was with regard to that one, because it seems that some of those larger nonprofits would already be entrenched with other products, and it might be easier to get a foothold with some smaller ones and move toward a larger market. Just curious of your thinking.
Yes, so your question is why we start the development with the larger nonprofits when it seems simpler to start with the smaller nonprofits. And so to answer your question, our inventor has already been in discussions with several larger nonprofits that are very willing to partner with Commonsent and are very enthusiastic about it. Additionally, we have spoken to over 40 directors of development in small and medium nonprofits that also express a large interest. So we believe that it doesn't necessarily have to be a linear model, rather they can exist together, but because the primary works with our inventor have been with larger nonprofits, we decided to stick with that primarily. Yes.
This Thursday, we're having Thanksgiving dinner with my 94-year-old mother as she turns 94. The eldest of 7 children. I have a tremendous interest in her well-being. You completely left out in the presentation the information that my dear sensitive mother would have to give up in order to be part of the real program. Let me tell you, it scares me to death that she would have in her computer automatic withdrawal from her account. I'm interested in whether or not, once she does concede all of the data, you didn't put any of the revenue in there that I presume you had for selling it to other people. Would you like to comment?
Yes, so your question is with regards to the security of using a service like Commonsent. And the answer to that is Commonsent is already quite secure. The application itself and the API itself does not store data with regards to what you're spending. Rather, it just looks at it and makes a deduction. It's kind of like an automatic bill payment, if you will. And furthermore, services like PayPal are what Commonsent uses to make withdrawals from bank accounts. So Commonsent is not directly in contact with your bank account. And so trusted services like PayPal, which Commonsent are using, enable Commonsent to do this safely and securely and give people a peace of mind.
I think you mentioned a survey that you've done with existing Commonsent donors, but have you been able to get an assessment of the larger donor community on their interest in having some sort of recurring, almost subscription-based giving campaign as opposed to a one-time campaign? And if not, how would you plan to convince or persuade donors to make that decision at when they hit that donate button?
Sure. So I believe your question is, there was a little miscommunication there with the survey. It actually was a survey just to potential donors, so it was the community at large. And that did give us some valuable information to answer your question on what stops these donors from doing a one-time donation versus this monthly giving. And I believe the answer to that is this proportional giving that Commonsent offers that truly targets these younger generations who may not be at the monetary place where they can say, okay, I can give $50 this month, but they can say, I will give 1% of what I'm already spending.
Okay, so if I heard you right, your question is, did we consider any alternative means of making withdrawals from donors' bank accounts, if I understand that correct? Yeah. Yes, and that's a very good question, but unfortunately it's very difficult to gather to make a secure enough platform that people would trust to get access to these donor bank accounts. PayPal, you already know, is well known, and so people are more likely to donate to something that they're familiar with rather than seeing a new API Commonsent. And so Commonsent would not have that brand name and brand recognition and trust from users that PayPal has, making it easier for Commonsent to use PayPal.
In addition to that, a lot of our already existing competitors have used PayPal for a lot of their deductions at the same, if not higher rates that we plan to use it with, and they haven't reported any unique problems with using PayPal or any issues with security as well. Okay, we have time for one more question.
Just a question on this proportional giving piece. Is it up to the donor to calculate that proportion, or is that something that Commonsent does, especially in sort of the gig economy where someone's inside Sure. So your question is about the 1% giving and how that would be calculated. And the answer is that CommonSent would do that itself. The novelty here is that it's a passive donation, so you can kind of just link your bank account with the technology, and it would do it all for you. So it would calculate your 1% of your monthly expenses through this technology, but then wouldn't store the data.